Hey, sorry, just real quick before we start the video, we're having a merch sale. From May 22nd to May 29th, it is buy 2 or more things and get 10% off your order at orchidate.com/collection/numbskulls. Check out all of this cool stuff you can get. Remember, the sale only lasts from the 22nd to the 29th, so get it while you can.
It is time to swallow our pride and ally with the children of the Old Ones. Their knowledge and power near rivals our own. We do not need them as an enemy. They are far from Ulfwine.
The Vortex is vulnerable, and our concern should be here, defending it.
And the Lawmasters and I alone will go. Guard the gates, brother. For soon the world will arrive.
Let them come.
Hello everybody and welcome back to a long overdue return, explaining Warhammer Fantasy to my girlfriend. My name is Ava and joining me, as always, is my lovely significant other, Carrie.
Hi, I'm doing my Galadriel.
And you would have a queen, dark and beautiful.
She doesn't laugh like that. Does she laugh at any point? I can't think of it.
In the Ralph Bakshi animated one, she kind of goes like, ha ha ha, I
she
passed
does a
the
little
test.
twirl.
She does the twirl. She's like, I passed. Yay. And then leaves.
Girlies.
It's great. You must leave now.
It's an entirely different movie.
I'm about to crash the fuck out.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're back in Warhammer Fantasy, not the mortal realms of Age of Sigmar. No. We are in the old world, the world that was.
The old
before it
world
got
that is
blown up.
newer than
You'll get there.
the older one.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
You're doing your best.
Yeah,
There's
I got
a lot
it,
of
guys. Ain't no
There's a
thing.
lot of properties. Today, we are talking about the High Elves.
Oh, heck yeah.
Carrie, what have you heard of the High Elves?
I have.
Have you heard of the High
I
Elves?
have.
What do you know about the High
elf vision
Elves?
to see where the hobbits are going.
Tell me what you know about High
I
Elves.
use my mole powers to follow them. They're not the ones that are in Canada who are evil.
Those are the Dark Elves.
Yeah. Are they the ones that are like nature-y adjacent? Or is that another group?
Wood Elves are more nature-y,
Wood
but
elves.
High Elves are pretty nature-y.
Okay.
You got 3 flavors of elves. We got High Elf, Dark Elf, Wood Elf, your standard elves. They all come from one elf thing, though. The reason why there's a difference is just, we'll talk about it a bit today, and maybe next video as well, but they're all the same. They're not biologically different. The only thing that's different is their culture.
Could they
That's it.
breed and produce fertile offspring?
Yeah.
Okay, so
They're all
the same
elves.
species.
Yeah, they're the same species, the same biology. They developed different cultures as time went on. So the Wood Elves are the ones who live in the woods, and they have a totally different society than the High Elves of the Dark Elves. The Dark Elves, they're very into like raiding and slavery and being evil, and the High Elves are pretty hoity-toity isolationists. But tell me what you know about the High Elves.
They got really fancy outfits. They love taking their head and extending it as much as possible.
They do got the long hats.
They got long hats. Plumage.
a
Big
lot.
deal.
Yes.
I know that there's like several of them that have like important names that like keep coming up, but now of course they're not coming to my mind.
We are going to get into a couple names, especially next video, because we're splitting this into 2 parts. We're doing the origin of the elves, and then sort of how did the difference between dark elves and stuff, how did that happen in the next video?
The Civil War, what was that?
The Civil War. So today we'll be focusing on their origin story, their origin myth, the legend of AENARION.
AENARION, that's the name I always hear.
There's a lot of Targaryen medieval isms of like people sharing the same names. Like the name Calidor. If I say Calidor, I could be talking about 4 or 5 different people.
Okay.
It's like that.
Is there a lot of keeping it in the family?
No. Well.
Oh, no.
Yesn't.
Okay.
Elves are weird.
Are elves
But also they're not like
immortal?
humans. No.
In so much as the Tolkien way where they can be killed, but they don't really have a natural lifespan?
They live a very, 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 very long time, but they do pass away from old age.
Are there things that like live as long as they do?
Dragons live longer.
Okay. I can see in up this picture you've got, there's a couple dragons, so
Yes.
I assume
Now,
that they kind of get along.
We'll discuss the nature of the dragons and stuff in a minute, but you mentioned Tolkien just now, and we've been talking about we started this with like a Galadriel joke. I feel the onboarding process to Warhammer Fantasy is much simpler than something like 40K or even Age of Sigmar because, hey, have you seen Lord of the Rings? Have you read Lord of the Rings? Yeah, you're about halfway there already.
Girl, I can like recite the Silmarillion. I got it.
Well, this is what I'm saying is that
lot.
a lot of this is gonna be familiar to
Right.
you. So yeah, any other things you could tell me about the elves, what you already know before we get started? Because we're going to do a lot of origins today.
They do have some magic.
They have a lot of magic.
Yeah, which I'm hella excited about.
Last we left off, we talked about the lizardmen, which are arguably the most magic-y in the world because the Slann are just like cracked. Obviously, Lord Croak is
Slann
like
are my guys.
S tier.
Particularly Croak.
Right beneath them, if we're doing this as a tier list, right beneath them, High Elves.
Right. Okay.
High Elves are crazy with magic.
Right. I'm excited to learn about that.
Well, shall we
and
get
I
started?
assume that they're kind of, I guess, thus we'll get into a little bit of like the actual winds of magic, like the color wheel of the winds of.
Not today.
Damn
and
it.
not next video. I'm sorry.
What do you
but
mean? When do
that's
I get
more-
to do the wheel of magic? Not TM, the other thing.
When we discuss the Great War of Chaos.
How long is that gonna? That's gonna be after the fucking Horus Heresy at that point.
No. I have it planned out. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's okay. Sit down. Sit down. I do it. I'm a queen.
Oh, and they have some like important weapons, right? Like some of the swords are like named or something. Or am I just making that up? You looked at me directly.
There is one very important sword
Okay.
that we will be talking about today.
Not
Yes.
Nightbringer. Not Dark Sister.
No.
Dawnbringer.
I have a whole chapter in my notes about this sword.
Okay.
Okay. Shall we begin?
I think so. I'm just trying to think if I'm forgetting anything.
It'll come to you. Feel free to ask questions.
Yeah, I'm probably
whenever.
gonna be like, oh, I knew that once or twice.
Yeah, today's video is less of a story time, more of like just reciting a myth. Like I don't have like excerpts because a lot of this is just a story. It's a myth that's been passed down for thousands and thousands of years. But first we need to start with what the hell are the elves?
But is it like a myth where they're like, and then he did not throw the ring into the fire, and Elrond's like, yeah, I was there. It sucked.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But before we get too far into it, I have to tell you about the wonderful sleep I've been getting with today's sponsor, Manta Sleep. Manta Sleep creates the world's best sleep mask and functional sleep accessories. Everything from peaceful quiet, pleasant ASMR, cool or hot eye covers, Manta Sleep has got you covered. We were sent the Manta Weighted Sleep Mask. Originally, this was supposed to be for Carrie to use, but it's mine now. Sorry, Carrie, you're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. Sometimes I move around while I sleep, so I need to sort of cocoon myself to stay comfortable throughout the night. Although most of the time my regular sleep masks will fall off because of the aforementioned thrashing. But with the Manta Weighted Sleep Mask, this is no longer a problem. Now when I sleep, I feel like I've been entombed in a comfy sarcophagus, and when I wake up, I am fully rested. Manta Sleep also sent us the Manta Steam Sleep Mask. Simply put these two eye covers in the microwave for about 30 seconds, rinse with cool water, and suddenly you're having a spa day. I love it. You can get 10% off your Manta Sleep order by using our code NUMSKULLS or by using the link in the description and pinned comment. Thank you, Manta Sleep, for the sponsorship, and let's get back to it. The Aesir, the High Elves, the self-titled Guardians of the World. Long ago, before Sigmar and his Empire of Man, before the legions of the undead risen by the first Lich Nagash, and even before the Great War of Chaos, there were the elves. They were risen up to where they are now by the Old Ones. They were beings who were on the planet, and when the Old Ones came by, moved the planet over, and the dragons were like, what the fuck? And all the other races who were already living on the planet were like, what the fuck? They started messing around with some genetics, started messing around with some people.
Uh-oh.
One of which was the High Elves. Or at this point in time, just the elves.
Right.
They created an island utopia for them to live on in the middle of the ocean called Ulthuan. It's a floating island, like just above the actual shore, and it's full of magic.
Does it move about if it's floating?
No, it just hovers.
Wait, it's like above the ocean? It's not
Yeah.
touching the water?
No,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
it's a weird place, but very magical. The elves themselves are naturally attuned with magic. You asked me before, how long do they live? Roughly like 7,000 years, and then they pass away.
All right.
So pretty long time.
Yeah.
Now, the first elves lived peacefully among the world. They knew not of war or strife, for they were naturally a kind and compassionate people. They had a curiosity to explore the world, and so traveled across the ocean to unknown places and made friends with their inhabitants, such as the dwarves. Also creations of the Old Ones, hardy craftsmen of the mountains that forged with iron and magical runes. Together they created arts and architecture, the likes of which we cannot begin to imagine. And, more hidden, there were also the spirits of the forest that spread all across the lands. And the elves met with these spirits and bonded over the beauty of the world and the desire to protect it at all costs. And so the elves are going about the world and they're, living peacefully with everybody. And it's harmonious peace for centuries.
What a great episode. I'm so glad we're stopping here.
And then the polar gates collapsed.
Isn't that the second impact?
Demons! Yay! It's time for the Great War of Chaos. So, quick summary of what happened with the Great War of Chaos. Number one, magic became incredibly unbalanced because there was so much flooding in from these polar gates. The very fabric of reality was slowly being torn apart.
Right.
As mentioned before, demons invaded. They eventually found Ulthuan, and they began enslaving, destroying, consuming, defiling everybody and everything in sight. And the elves were helpless because, again, they didn't know what war was. They didn't fight. They weren't militarily trained.
Right.
Because why would they be? It was like a utopia, this planet.
Yeah.
So they had to quickly learn how to defend themselves from this evil. And to put it lightly, they weren't doing a good job.
Okay.
It was bad. It was real bad for a while.
Oh, no.
Years, perhaps decades went by, and the world continued to be tormented by chaos. The lands of Ulthuan never knew rest, for elven souls were sought after by demons above all other mortal races, especially by the Dark Prince Slaanesh. Yummy, yummy elf souls. They're just so delicious.
Well, are they also brighter in a way?
Yeah, they're more magical than your average human.
Right.
So I guess that's sort of like where
They're like flavor
flavor-
blasted goldfish.
Baja Blasted soul. Yes. AENARION had been an adventurer before the demons invaded the world. He loved this world and all the wonders it had, and he wanted to explore each and every part. But that had changed. Chaos had come, and all but one of the elven kingdoms had fallen. AENARION had grown sick of seeing his people be slaughtered, and so he traveled to the shrine of Assyrian, the king of the elven pantheon. Basically your Zeus, Odin equivalent. King of the gods. And he prayed in front of a pillar of fire inside of the shrine for days. Prayer after prayer was whispered, but Assyrian did not speak. Offering after offering was given to the flame, but Assyrian did not speak. Finally, desperately, AENARION offered his own body and soul, if only it would save his people, but still Assyrian did not speak. And so AENARION, as the demons bashed upon the door to the shrine, stepped into the holy fire and screamed. AENARION burned. AENARION died.
Oh, no.
Or did he?
I don't know.
Or did he?
Daenerys? Question mark?
The gates of the shrine crashed open.
Okay, that's...
The leader of the Chaos Army stood triumphant, eager to continue the murder of these worthless, weak elves. And then a thrown spear pierced straight through his heart, killing him instantly. The elven warriors stopped. They looked at each other. No one had thrown their weapon, and their eyes darted back to the sacred flame. And AENARION stepped out from the fire.
Oh.
His skin was now translucent, his hair shinier than ever, and he glowed with raw power. He had become the embodiment of Assyrian. He dashed to the Chaos Lord's corpse, picked up his sword, and commanded his men to charge. The elves screamed with all their fury, all their hope. They were like a wall of blades against the demonic horde, and the Chaos army was almost single-handedly destroyed by AENARION himself, and thus marked the first of many great victories for the elves.
Oh.
So he's basically the mortal embodiment of Assyrian now.
Right. But it's not that Assyrian, like, took his mortal form.
No, he basically is just pumped up full of Assyrian juice.
Okay.
News quickly traveled, bolstering the elves with hope once more. AENARION journeyed to the last elven sanctuary in the world and met with one of the greatest mages in history, Kallador Dragon Tamer. Quick thing about Kallador Dragon Tamer. You remember how the old ones, they moved the planet and the dragons were like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you've ruined
What
our
the
like
hell, man?
basking spots.
My basking spots, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So Kallador Dragon Tamer, one of the greatest mages in history, just full stop. Elves can do magic pretty well, but he's just built different.
Okay.
In his off time, he forged an alliance between elves and the dragons.
Ah.
Just casually.
Okay.
Probably just walked up and was like, hey guys, sorry the guys who created me did that to you, but like, I don't want to die. The dragon's like, I don't want to die either. And they're like, okay, well, maybe we could be friends.
I thought you were going to say he forged like a great lamp and made a hot spot upon a ridge of rocks.
Perhaps they did. The point is, that's where his name Dragon Tamer comes from.
Right.
Forging an alliance with the dragons. He also used his powerful magic to keep the demons at bay from the last elven kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And upon seeing AENARION, Kallador immediately takes a knee and swears fealty. Because he sees, oh my god, you are a god walking around.
Right.
And so, unlike something like the Emperor of Mankind with Malcador, AENARION was quite humble.
That's nice.
And still, like, had his humanity.
Right.
And he and Kallador became very good friends. They then set to work in the battle against Chaos. Kallador and AENARION taught those willing to fight in the ways of war how to battle with powerful magics, spears, shields, and more. Training montage.
Oh no, it's us last night with you being
Training
like, please
montage.
use your shield. Please.
Please use your shield.
Please.
Drop the shield, it'll make your stamina come back faster. Okay, now block. No, stop dodging. Block.
But if I just
block.
throw
You're
a
fat roller.
spell,
Stop. Block.
then
block.
I don't have to get close.
I have a quote here. Like a thunderbolt, the elves descended from the mountains of Kallador. Dragon-mounted knights smashed the armies of beastmen. Forces of heavily armed and armored infantry drove the followers of the four powers before them. In the campaign that followed, AENARION forged his army the way a smith would temper a sword. Mounted on Indraugnir, eldest of dragons, he led the way into every battle. Great flights of fire-breathing beasts swooped on the armies of the night and drove them back from the heart of Ulthuan to the shores of the island continent. Demon after demon was slayed by AENARION, banished back to the realms of chaos, including the greatest of Slanesh's keeper of secrets, Nakari, who, when slayed, vowed revenge against AENARION and all elven kind.
Oh.
I wonder if that'll come up again soon.
It's crazy when you're attacking a group and then they defend themselves and you're like,
How dare you?
I can't believe you've done this.
Just sit down and let me eat your yummy elf soul. That's all I want. Can't even have elven souls anymore because of woke. I can't believe it.
It's just too woke.
It's too much.
DEI.
This is ridiculous.
Elf involvement.
This is ridiculous. So with this great victory, Ulthuan, for a time, saw peace. And it was a time of rebuilding what had been lost. They had an entire society, a utopia.
Mm-hmm.
the coming of chaos just saw most of it completely eradicated, so we have to rebuild. So for the next couple of years, it was pretty low-key, just rebuilding, trying to make sure that everybody's okay, trying to unite everybody once more. And during this time of peace, AENARION met the Ever-Queen Astariel, and they quickly fell in love.
Okay.
And then they married.
Oh.
And together, they had 2 children, and they were incredibly happy. So the elves are ruled over. Since the dawn of their race, they had been ruled over by a figure known as the Ever-Queen.
Okay.
In marrying Astariel and having children with her, AENARION had become the first Phoenix King. So you have a Phoenix King and Ever-Queen.
So a king that's always rebirthed a bunch and can't really die. And then also a queen that is forever.
Yes.
Got it.
She lives in Avalorn, which is like a nature haven. Very, very beautiful place. Like one of the most beautiful elven cities ever.
Okay.
And she's a representative of essentially the heart.
Is she the one from the game
elven
that has
people.
a big heart on her armor?
You're talking about Alarielle. Yes, she is the current Ever-Queen.
Uh-oh.
It's a direct line.
Alarielle in Avalorn.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this is...
It's okay. This is Astariel.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Oh,
it's okay.
no.
It's okay. Carrie, it's
Why
okay.
would they
It's
do
okay.
this to me?
So, all you really need to know is that the Ever-Queen serves as like the heart of the elven people, whereas the Phoenix King is somewhat the sword, the military leader, right?
Right.
Now, this fluctuates a bit based on who the current Ever-Queen and Phoenix King are, which we'll talk about more in part 2. So, while AENARION and Astariel are being all lovey-dovey, they're having a great time being king and queen. They've got their kids. Kalidor is doing his best. He's doing magey stuff. He's in his tower looking at his orb. He's pondering. He's pondering all day. And he's like, how do we kill chaos? And he's thinking, and he's like, well, chaos invaded.
Okay.
And when the gates collapsed, it caused basically a geyser of magic on both polar fronts.
Right. The second impact.
Well, what if we made a magical vortex that sucked in all of the excess magic and put it back into the realm of chaos?
He wants to
What
make
if we
a
funnel it?
really big air purifier.
Yes. There's
And
too
these
much
demons
magic
are
in the
gonna
air.
have a transformative fucking summer is what's gonna happen.
a transformative war.
Every soldier ever.
So there's too much magic in the air in the
Right.
world.
He's
so we
making
need to
a filter.
funnel it. Yes, we need to funnel it back where
Okay.
it came from.
He's buying a Brietta filter,
Mm-hmm.
so he doesn't
And he's
have
like,
to buy
"This'll fix
bottled
it.
earth
This is gonna fix
anymore."
it.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
And so he goes to AENARION and he's like, here's my plan. And AENARION's like, no, that's way too dangerous. That's far too risky.
Yeah,
You
I
don't know if
guess.
that's going to work. And Kalidor is like, well, what the fuck else can we do? This is the only idea we've ever come up with. Because what else is the alternative? Fight demons forever?
Could you build a wall on?
Build a big plug just right on the pole.
Could you? Does that make more sense than building a filter? Does
yes,
anything
because
come out of these gates that
demons.
is useful? Like, is that where magic
No.
comes from or anything? So
the problem is that it's from the realm of chaos, and it is just I think a geyser is the best way to describe it, like as a magical force, because it's just constantly coming out. And because we're just mortals, we're not gods or anything.
Yeah.
If we approach, the closer we get to this unstable magic, that's like basically pure chaotic energy.
sure.
And we know what pure chaotic energy does to people.
Right.
Like, you'll explode into tentacles, maybe. Or just die.
Right.
Not to mention,
Big cork.
yes, big cork. That'll fix it. Now, the other problem is the Chaos Gods aren't stupid. And you're probably gonna have to fight through so many demons. The odds are literally impossible. So Kalidor comes up with the funnel plan, the vortex,
Sure.
and AENARION goes, no. And Kalidor's like, well, what else are we gonna do? So they put it on hold for now.
Put a big ring of salt around the whole perimeter.
Big salt.
Big salt.
During a time when AENARION was away, probably out fighting demons on the shores of Ulthuan, disaster struck. Nakari and his demons raided the kingdom of Avalorn. Avalorn burned. Countless elves and forest spirits died, and the demon fled before any force could reach them. I mean, it did vow revenge, so...
Right.
And when AENARION heard the news, the first thing he asked was, "What of my wife and children?" Astariel the Everqueen was found dead.
Yeah.
And there was no sign of their children anywhere. After being told that, AENARION didn't say anything. He simply went into his tent, and he grieved. And the next morning, it was clear to all that something broke inside of him. His gaze was more terrifying than any demon, and no one dared approach him. With a booming voice, he vowed to kill every last demon and chaos worshipper in the world, and he would draw the Sword of Cain to do so.
That's Sword of Cain.
At the very north of Ulthuan, on the Blighted Isle, a place where no one, not even the forces of chaos, approached, there is a black altar. And on top of that altar is a sword as old as the world itself. No one can wield it and live. It was just as foul as the god it was named after, Kayla Mensha Cain, the elven god of blood, war, and murder. A shard of crystallized death capable of slaying anything it touched, even a god. Calidor warned AENARION what would happen if he were to draw the blade, that it would doom their people forever. The gods would turn away from AENARION, and he and his lineage would be cursed.
Oh.
And most certainly, he would meet a gruesome end. AENARION didn't say anything. His heart was filled with nothing except hatred. He mounted in Draupnir and took flight. Along the way, voices entered AENARION's mind. Some were the voices of his gods, others more demonic, evil. They all said the same thing. Turn back.
Or he's having one of those sequences where like all the visions of all of his loved ones are popping up in his head.
But AENARION did not listen and continued forward. At the foot of the Blighted Isle, Draupnir landed, refusing to proceed. He looked at his rider, his dear friend, and pleaded with him. "You need not do this, my friend. See reason. We can still turn back." AENARION warmly placed a hand on the silver-blue dragon's back and shook his head. He continued on foot, and Draupnir waited there for his friend's return. Along the way, more voices rang in his ears, growing louder as he neared the black altar. "Turn back. Turn back," they all cried. And as he reached the top of the altar, he saw it. The Sword of Cain. The Widowmaker. The Godslayer. AENARION walked towards the evil blade as it hummed with dark power, and he heard a voice that he had not heard on this journey. The voice of his wife, Astariel. She simply said one word. "Don't." AENARION froze, a wave of emotion spreading throughout his body. Hot tears ran down his face. He clenched his fist. He grit his teeth. No, she was dead and gone. And those monsters did it. "Revenge," the blade seemed to whisper. "Revenge." AENARION gripped the bloody blade with all his fury and drew it from the altar, unleashing it upon the world.
It's literally what happens in Twilight before Bella jumps off the ledge.
His fucking wife. Stop! Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Hey,
also,
stop!
If I'm ever dead and you clearly hear my voice right before you do something stupid, being like, "Don't do it," be like, "Yes, honey, you're right, honey."
So a large part of that was probably the sword's influence. This sword is evil.
The sword does
evil
not want
fucking
to be
sword.
used.
The sword wants to be used. The sword was basically going, "Yeah, come take me. Come on. Yeah. Aren't you mad? Where's your fucking rage? Come on."
Sure. Where the fuck is this sword from if nobody can touch it? Who forged it? How did it get here?
It's as old as the world itself. It seems like it was always here.
That's a
strange
cop-out. It came from somewhere.
Magic.
Why did they even know about it? Why'd they name it after a dude? I'm glad it is named after a dude because I thought it was just called the Sword of a Cane. Like, for some reason, you also use it to walk.
It's named after the elven god of blood, murder, war.
Was it his? Did he drop it? Like,
you're asking me questions I don't know the answers to.
I'm just curious. Like, it's just everything's got to be somewhere every minute, right? Like,
the Sword of Cain comes from. Okay, you're asking me questions about like elven myth. Like, this is an elven myth, but it's like rooted in history. But you're asking me things about their gods, of which I have not done a ton of research in. But the Sword of Cain was forged by Vol, the smithing god. It was heated using the breath of a dragon, and then it was sealed in the altar of Cain, the shrine of Cain. Basically, like, the blade was made, it was evil, and so the elven gods put it in the...
They were like, we'll just seal this off.
Yeah, again, that's probably not super accurate, but I also just...
I mean, that's a pretty common myth trope.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's more of, like, the Elven Pantheon story. This is about AENARION. All you need to know about the sword is that it's an old-ass sword, magically put there. It's evil. Evil fucking sword.
Does it have, like, a spirit in it? Or it just, like, somehow has, like, a...
It's kind of like the One Ring. It's just kind of like an evil presence. Now, the One Ring's a bit different because it has, like, a shard of, like, Sauron's soul kind of in there. The blade is almost a physical manifestation of Cain itself.
When you learn how to use a sword, they're like, make it an extension of your arm. He took that literally.
Yeah, but like Cain in particular is interesting because he is like, he's very similar to Korn in a way where it's a god of blood and murder and like bloodlust. And that's why the sword calls out to people to like, yo, you should draw me. And we also see in other points of history, it will literally change its form to be a weapon that people prefer to use. So at one point, like, a guy looks at it and it's a mace.
Oh, cool.
It is willing to tempt you no matter what. It'll be like, oh,
Keyblade.
Yeah, like, it is a evil sword.
Yeah.
You should not use it. I have a quote here of how AENARION changed after drawing the sword. If the gods had given him strength, the sword had made him all but invincible. Where he walked, demons died. Where he led, victory was inevitable. But he could not be everywhere. And with every day the forces opposed to him grew stronger, and those who followed him grew fewer and fewer. Calidor only heard rumors of what AENARION was up to afterwards. Now, we are taking this is a long time period, and we're shrinking it down for the sake of this story. But this is like years and years and years in between all of these events. So after AENARION pulls the sword, Calidor hears rumors of what's going on with his buddy. Number one, he started hanging out in northwestern Ulthuan in a kingdom called Nagaraith, and that's a place known as the Shadowlands.
Oh, lovely.
So immediately, okay. He got remarried.
All right.
To a lady named Marathi.
Oh, no.
Why do you say oh no to that?
Because I remember what she wears.
Yep.
Ain't no one got good intentions when they're wearing that.
He also had a kid with her.
Okay, yeah, right. I remember this.
So POV, we're Calidor going like, what do you mean he remarried? What do you mean he had another kid? What?
Right. Snake?
Not Snake. That's AOS's thing, but not Snaky. Not yet.
Not yet.
Also, we got word of what's going on with the court in Nagaraith. Apparently, people be killing and fucking.
What?
Like, the court that AENARION held now was one of violence and depravity.
Oh.
And it got to the point where Calidor was like, I don't even want to hear about what's happening in his court because it's too fucked up. I have other things to do.
Oh, no.
He has become an edgelord, AENARION. He's been, fully corrupted.
Right.
And it's all because of the sword.
He's listening to, like, Linkin Park.
He's putting a lot of, like, eyeshadow on.
Yeah.
I have a picture here comparing, like, this is, like, what a dark elf looks like, and then here's, like, a high elf mage.
Okay.
But, like, you can see the difference of, like, every part of the dark elf armor is, like, sharp. It's made to make something, or even the own wielder, like, bleed. It's all about the blood. So
he's gonna end up in Canada.
This is basically the origin of the dark elfin culture.
Okay.
AENARION's really interesting because he is the origin of both the high elves and the Dark Elves.
Right.
Despite Anarion's previous conversation he had with Kalidor of like, yo, don't do the vortex thing. Kalidor was like, fuck that. I'm still researching it because it's the only way.
Nah.
It's the only thing we got. Fuck him. So many years have passed by now, and he finally had the means to make the vortex. And so he goes, all right, it's time. He calls upon each elven kingdom, and he says, guys, we have to unite. He assembles the greatest elven mages on the Isle of the Dead at the very center of Ulthuan, and the ritual begins. The armies of chaos somehow caught wind of this, because chaos,
right,
and began sieging the island with their sorcerers and horrible monstrosities, and this would be the battle that determined the fate of the world. AENARION answered Kalidor's call, and their forces joined together. Dragons so numerous their wings clouded the skies descended upon their enemies. Thousands of elves and demons clashed while the mages chanted their ritual. As one by one, each of the mages began to die, the least powerful first, their heads smoking as their minds engulfed in flames.
Oh no, it's like the Slan again.
AENARION and Draupnir battled greater demons of each god, bloodthirsters, keepers of secrets, great unclean ones, and lords of change. They endlessly fought on, and just as AENARION was struggling to remain standing, he came. Nakari.
Oh.
Laughing and flicking his whip-like tongue, he mocked AENARION for his weakness and his inability to save Astariel from the demon's torture. With a scream of pure rage, AENARION charged forward. The waters around Kalidor and his mages swirled up like a great tornado. Magic filled their lungs, but they kept chanting. AENARION was losing ground as Nakari swept bladed limb after bladed limb against his shield and sword, and just when all hope seemed lost, Draupnir leapt and bit into the demon's throat, allowing AENARION one final blow, cutting open the Keeper of Secrets' chest, and using his other hand, crushed its heart. And just then, the great vortex was finally formed, sucking in the souls of all demons nearby into it, trapping them all forever within the magical whirlwind. And Nakari screamed, vowing revenge upon AENARION's bloodline. Again.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Most of the magic across the world was absorbed into this vortex, and AENARION could no longer feel the power he had only a few moments before. His mind was his own again, no longer clouded by madness and hate. He begged Draupnir to take him to the Blighted Isle, back to the Black Altar of Cain. No mortal should wield such power. And just as they reached to the foot of the altar, Draupnir crashed, whirring one final time before dropping dead.
Oh.
AENARION rushed to the top of the altar before the sword spoke to him again, before it could take control, and with the last of his strength, he plunged the blade back into its resting place so deep that no one would ever be able to draw it again. Then, AENARION made his way to his dragon, his companion, his friend. He sat next to him and let death come, finally free from the never-ending battle, finally able to rest. Kalidor and his mages, however, would forever remain within the vortex, fighting demons as they stood eternally protecting the world. For 3 days, Ulthuan was ravaged by storms, tsunamis, and earthquakes, but at the end of it all, the day was won, and the world was saved. So yeah, the big magical vortex, in the center of it, there's a collection of elven mages that are just there forever.
That are immortal now because they're in the vortex?
They're kind of in like locked time.
Right.
But they're there forever.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's the sacrifice they had to make to save the world.
Oh.
That is the legend of AENARION.
AENARION in the very, very, very bad day.
Very bad sword, very bad day.
Very bad time.
So, what happens next? 1. Our Phoenix King is dead. 2. Our Ever Queen is dead. What do?
Yeah.
Fuck. We don't have a ruler. We got to start rebuilding, but we don't have anything. We're at, like, ground zero again.
Yeah.
And as the elven court is discussing this, as if he was always there, the eldest of ancients, a tree ent by the name of Durthu, walked towards the council. In his large branch-like hands was 2 elven children, magically asleep.
I knew it.
AENARION and Astariel's missing children, magically enchanted to sleep throughout the war.
Okay, the bloodline continues.
Astariel in her last moments begged Durthu to take her children. And,
right.
Well, he did.
Really, a woman saw danger caused by, well, her husband maybe acting a little erratically with his whole, like, conquest thing and sent the kids off? Where have we seen this?
This was before the sword stuff. Like, AENARION at that point was still, like, defending the elven kingdoms. That was still when he was, like, pure and good. That was, like,
he was,
Paladin AENARION, not Dark Knight AENARION.
He had already pissed off Nakari, though.
He did,
by defending himself, but...
Yeah. It was a tragedy what happened to Astariel. And she did what she believed was the correct thing to do. And evidently it was the right thing to do.
I mean, saving the kids is usually a good idea.
She begged Durthu, yo, take my kids, please. And Durthu was like, he contemplated it for a bit and he was like, you know what? Sure.
Durthu was like, how do you know about me?
The Kingdom of Avalorn, we'll talk about when we talk about Wood Elves, but the Kingdom of Avalorn had a pretty great relationship with the forest spirits. And that's why Avalorn to this day is like a magical forest with like lots of treants and dryads and stuff everywhere, living in peace and harmony. They had good relations.
And she couldn't have left a note or something being like, yo, the kids is fine.
Things were too crazy.
Pick them up at like 6.
She was literally in the middle of like an inferno.
Yeah.
The kingdom was fully on fire.
Yeah.
Anyway, Durthu places down the children and he collects the spirits of the forest that fell in the great battle, and just as quickly as he arrived, he left. Without a word. The children awoke, completely unaware of the time that had passed. We'll revisit this point, but basically Durthu goes, so the way the tree ants work is that they use the world roots to basically teleport wherever they need to go.
I was kind of hoping you would be like, just as quickly as he left. Very, very slowly.
Yeah. So when Durthu presented because he's the eldest of ancients, he's like the oldest ent. He goes to the other ents and is like, what are we going to do with these kids? And some of them are like, we shouldn't have taken these kids at all. And some of them are like, no, we should take the children, but like, what are we going to do? And they ultimately decided, this council of tree ents, let's magically put them to sleep so they don't have to like live through the horror of the war. So that's what they did. And well, the pact has been sealed. And now we did it. We did our job. Bye.
Good job.
Durthu goes back to the woods. We'll revisit Durthu when we talk about Wood Elves. Durthu's really cool. He eventually goes crazy, but that's, well.
I mean, you live so long.
Well, you live so long and so many people start cutting down your fucking trees.
You're gonna start.
What if Treebeard went crazy? That's Durthu.
Well, I mean, we all saw what happened.
Yeah, but like that forever.
Yeah.
A wizard should fucking know better, bro. As I mentioned briefly before, Everqueens are a direct descendant line. So it was decided that Yvraine would be the next Everqueen.
Yeah, okay.
And the way Everqueens work is that they inherit all of the previous memories from the past Everqueens through the crown.
Right.
So she puts on her head and she goes, I am wise. I know everything now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's fine. They turn out okay. In doing so, they also become basically the mortal avatar / priestess of the elven goddess of life, Isha.
Okay.
So that's why they're all like nature-y and flowers, and where I walk, there's blossoms and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Her brother, Morleon, he didn't want the crown.
Okay.
For whatever reason, so he just decided to become his sister's bodyguard.
Okay.
Fair enough, right? So this still left the question, well, what are we going to do for a Phoenix King?
Sure.
We've got our Everqueen. What are we going to do about the king? And then AENARION's third child, Malekith, shows up and goes, hey!
Right.
What's up?
Oh.
Immediately, all of the elves on the council are like, this dude's vibes are fucked up.
Right.
Because he's wearing like black armor and it's all like sharp and spiky and stuff. And I'm pretty sure there's a bit of blood here or there. And his mom is really fucking weird. She's always skulking around, starting cults and stuff and whispering into people's ears. Not really sure about this one.
Right, all right.
So eventually it's decided, yo, Malekith, appreciate your input, and we get it. You're related to the last Phoenix King, the bloodline and whatnot. Yeah, we get that. But you know what? We're gonna do a democracy, and we're actually gonna vote the next Phoenix King. We're doing Belshazzar.
Okay, Belshazzar.
Belshazzar, who would be in history remembered as Belshazzar the Explorer.
Okay, and I'm assuming he takes this well.
Well...
Oh,
well,
no.
This pissed off Marathi.
Yeah.
So bad.
Okay.
Marathi is like Cersei Lannister on fucking steroids. She's like, I need that power. I need that power so bad.
Right.
And she's like, my son is the rightful heir to the throne. So after years of persuasion and convincing, she goes over to her son. She's like, don't you want the throne really bad? And he's like, you know what, Mom? I was disagreeing with you for a long time before, but honestly, yeah, I really do fucking want that throne.
Okay.
And so they come up with a plan. They scheme. They be scheming.
This is very Maegor the First.
Malekith makes his way up through the ranks and ended up being the right hand to the Phoenix King.
Oh,
and many elves secretly were in support of Malekith's right to the throne. But all they had to do was wait. Mm-hmm. All in due time. One night, Belshazzar went to the shrine of Assyrian to step into the fire just as AENARION once did. This is gonna be a tradition now. To become a Phoenix King, you step into the fire.
Oh, no.
It's to be like, it's a divine thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, they're doing the whole ritual. And Belshazzar drinks the ceremonial wine, and he goes, and he dies, because they poisoned the wine. Malekith poisoned the wine.
Yeah.
And quickly, all of Malekith's supporters in the room, they lock down the fucking shrine, they kill anybody who didn't support Malekith, and they're like, okay, Malekith, step into the fire! And he walks over, and he's like, it's time for my holy baptism, it's time to go. And so he steps into the sacred fire, and screamed.
Okay, well, that did happen last time.
Malekith's body burned, but he did not die. His followers quickly grabbed him and they dragged him out of the fire, a scorched, horrible, mangled flesh. And they're like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. So they flee to Nagarath. They go back, and obviously Marathi is like, my son, my beautiful baby boy. They get the fuck out of Dodge. And all while Malekith, as he's being dragged, he's just like, he feels this hatred. This hatred. I will have the throne no matter the cost. Even if I must defy the very gods themselves, Ulthuan will be mine by right. And what came next was a civil war that would literally shatter Ulthuan. But my love, that's a story for next time. You're not worthy, kid.
Why is there always someone who's like, I want it now?
Listen, sometimes people really want a chair. That's all they really
just
want.
Go make one.
I need... Malekith eventually becomes the leader of the Dark Elves, and he takes on the title the Witch King.
Oh, great.
Because he's a skilled sorcerer as well as a duelist.
Right.
He also gets Anakin Skywalkered, where, like, he can't survive unless he is, like, entombed in magical armor.
Oh, because of the whole burning thing?
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Oh.
You're not worthy, kid.
Well, you should have thought of that before.
Well.
Did he even, like, call upon the god dude while he was going into the fire, or was he just like, I'm gonna be king?
I think he just wanted to be king. He just stepped in.
Wait to
He was like, my dad did it, so I should be able to do it, no fucking problem.
Yeah, but he was specifically calling on the specific god. He didn't follow the steps.
It is the Shrine of Assyrian, so...
Yeah, but you still gotta be like, yo, you there? Because, like, what if he's out? He's getting groceries. You didn't make an appointment.
The main takeaway is that Assyrian rejected Malekith. You are not worthy of becoming the Phoenix King. Get the fuck out of here.
Sure.
And then he and Marathi are going to make it everybody's fucking problem.
Yeah,
but that's the origin of the elves. What
I
comes next
see.
is the Civil War that will really differentiate. Here's Dark Elves, here's High Elves.
So are the Slann just sitting over there side-eyeing the whole time this is happening? Like,
Well, the Slann actually taught the elves how to use magic before the whole Chaos invasion.
well, that's what I mean. They're like, these guys are nice. Yeah, just like use this. Oh,
We will, in part 2, we're going to really get into the consequences of the Civil War because it is, they fuck
Not
up
that
a lot
civil?
of stuff. It's not that civil.
uh-huh.
It gets really bad, and they start bringing in other factions to get involved, and they leave a lot of their ruins across the world. I need to better emphasize this. Like, the elves basically had kingdoms and cities and stuff all throughout the world before Chaos invaded.
Right.
So, even to this day, there are elven ruins you can find in the old world that have been long abandoned, but stuff inside there might still be either incredibly valuable or magically very powerful.
Yeah, makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. How you feeling about High Elves so far? They're pretty Tolkien-ish.
Yeah, quite so.
Yes.
I mean, someone's always got to ruin it for everybody else,
Yeah.
but that's not really unexpected.
The moment you start to play the Game of Thrones, you must assume that everyone's going to lose.
Yeah, it just sucks when the Game of Thrones is literally just self-defense.
I
Like-
want it.
But
I want it. But I want
the
it.
throne.
I want the
want
throne.
the
I'm the
pointy chair. Look at how
I'm the
pointy my
rightful
clothes
ruler.
is.
I'm the rightful ruler. It should be me.
Were you in the sleeping tree?
No. I wasn't invited.
So yeah, this is the elven myth of AENARION.
Okay.
Any questions, thoughts? We will be doing a part 2 where we go through the history of the Phoenix Kings. And the way that works is that the elven calendar is really strange. It's not like a normal calendar where it's like, okay, it's like December 13th, 1980, whatever the fuck. The way it works is you have Phoenix King.
Oh, right.
So if it's like Phoenix King 7, it'll be like 7 year 1.
Yeah,
And you go from there.
right.
It's very interesting.
Is there like an afterlife?
Great question. Yes.
Okay.
The way the afterlife works in, at least for the elves, is that they're so attuned with the magic of the world that their spirits actually linger, usually guided by waystones,
Okay.
magical stones that basically bind them to the earth itself so that they're not taken and consumed by demons or gods.
Like the life stream?
Yeah, they're basically in the life stream of the planet.
Okay.
To the point where in Total War Warhammer 2, one of the plot lines is you have to unlock like the secrets of the ancient Phoenix Kings. And so you go and find their souls. And the last one you must find and speak to is AENARION.
Okay.
Basically it's like, yo, AENARION, what's up? And he's like, hey, what's good?
He's like, I finally found my wife. Can you leave us alone? Like,
Carrie, okay, so this is jumping to Age of Sigmar a little bit. In Age of Sigmar, after Slaanesh ate like all the elven souls, some elves that managed to escape, actually, they do like kind of a Greek myth thing in AOS. They open Slaanesh's mouth after trapping her, and then they go into her stomach to like retrieve all the elven souls. Marathi finds AENARION, and she's like, oh my god, we can be together again. Oh, I've never forgotten you. I love you so much. And he goes, get the fuck away from me.
oh no. It's the whole Rose and Titanic situation.
Wait, what?
Okay, you haven't seen Titanic, but like
No.
obviously you know the ending.
I know the ending, yeah.
You know that Jack dies.
yeah,
But like the last shot of the movie is like Rose lying in her bed and the camera pans over a bunch of pictures of her life to like show you she's lived a good long life and that like his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
sacrifice was worth it. And she clearly has married a man and like had a long life with him. So everybody is like so but then like the very, very last shot is her like walking into the afterlife and she like goes back to Jack, right? Like he like meets her and like
Fuck that
takes
other
her hand.
guy, though.
And so
What the
everybody's
fuck?
like, wait, what about your other husband, dude? What the fuck? Which
he looked.
I mean, maybe it's all great and they just have like a fun little afterlife polycule.
Dude,
get
he
along.
looks over at Marathi and is like, you were just sloppy seconds.
Girl.
you were a rebound.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, AENARION was like, I never loved you. Bye. Lol, 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 lol. So aesthetically, the High Elves are like quite Tolkien-ish. They have a lot with like shining silver armor, lots of gold, white and blue, but also the colors really depend on the kingdom. Dragons, phoenixes,
Right.
magical archers. Like, I want to talk a bit more about this in part 2 with like the actual characters that are on the field to give a good emphasis of like what's their deal. But that's pretty much High Elves part 1.
Cool.
Yeah. You look like you're struggling.
I'm just trying to think of something, if there's any other questions I have or anything.
I mean, this is going to be a bit of a simpler one just because
Yeah.
it is the
Part
the
1.
elven stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go from talking about AENARION to talking about like the history of the elves just yet, because I feel like that would just like completely, like part 2 would just completely eradicate everything from part 1. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to overload info or anything like that. But next time we will be talking about characters like Alarielle the Everqueen. We're going to run through all the Phoenix Kings. Some of them great, some of them fuck-ups, some of them not very notable.
I just got this image in my head of, you know how in like Tolkien, when like elves are hanging out with dwarves, they're kind of like,
Yeah.
imagine an elf meeting and having to work with a Skaven. Just being like,
They would rather die. Elves, Skaven, it's never going to happen. Also, fun fact, you know how Skaven are like everywhere?
yeah, this is why
Because-
I thought.
Because they have underground networks.
Yeah.
No Skaven on Ulthuan.
They use their mole powers. Well, yeah, how
No,
are they
they
gonna
can't.
get there?
How are they
can't
gonna get there?
mole
Because
in.
it's above
That's what I'm
the
saying.
shore.
A Skaven like comes up to AENARION, and then it's just like Smiling Friends when he throws him into the wall.
Get out of here.
Oh no!
Did you kill my wife?
What the fuck?
Did you kill my wife? Sucks that happened to AENARION. AENARION's really interesting as a story because it's like it's your classic tragedy of a hero falling from grace.
Right.
But their last act is basically them coming back to who they once were.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
a full
it's
circle
Anakin.
moment. It's
Yeah,
the hero's journey.
It's the hero's journey. Yeah, he in his last moment, he does the right thing.
Right. He plunges that thing in.
It's
and he
real
kinda
deep in there.
And he kind of like on a little
He
angle.
twists it.
Yeah. He maybe like sticks a shard of rock into the hole, so it's like no way.
As you can imagine,
He
because
puts
the
a little
dark
glue
elves
in before he does it.
the dark elves are heavily into Cain worship because like they were literally founded on a guy who was wielding the sword of Cain. So a lot of battles of Ulthuan do revolve around the Blighted Isle. Like dark elves 99% of the time in current history, old world
Right.
or fantasy or whatever, they're usually trying to get that fucking sword. They really want it.
Okay.
Because not only is it like important for their idea, because it's literally a physical manifestation of their god that they worship, they also, it's just a really strong sword.
Right, yeah.
It's able to
Its
kill
stats
gods.
are cray-cray.
It's maxed out in every stat.
You know how at Disneyland they have the sword in the stone and like they'll make it so like kids can actually pull the sword?
Yeah.
Imagine one day a kid pulls the sword and then like the sky goes dark, the sword bursts into flames, and the kid starts like speaking Latin or some shit and his eyes roll back. That'd
Yes.
be crazy.
The way the Creative Assembly made the Sword of Cain work in Total War, I actually really like. You draw it and the sword is thirsty. Like you need to give it blood because it's,
Okay.
you know, the sword wants blood.
Papa's hungry again.
Papa's hungry again. Kayla Cain is starving. Oh, I'm so hungry. Hey guys, I got the Sword of Cain. It's really freaking me out. Why? It talks. What do you mean it talks? Oh, AENARION, I'm just so hungry. Oh, feed me, AENARION, feed me now. I don't like this sword. Put it back. Put it back in the aisle.
Put some glue in the hole first.
Oh, you should really
All
stop
of the
yourself. It would
voices
be
he heard.
awesome.
On the way there were just the sword doing different impressions.
Baby's hungry again.
The sword's like, watch this, I can do a Donald Duck.
So the way it works in Total War is that you draw the sword and the blade is thirsty. So you have to go kill a bunch of stuff. And the more powerful the sword gets, the bigger the negative modifier on your allies gets. So you become stronger and stronger, but to show that you're like becoming crazy, like everybody starts to hate you.
Right.
It's really cool.
Interesting.
But it's a powerful, powerful sword.
Right. So is there like I guess there's like a sweet spot you would try to keep it at?
No, because it feeds in upon itself, because if everybody hates you, then they're going to declare war with more blood for the sword.
I see.
More blood, more blood, more blood.
We love blood.
Yeah. I do want to do an episode on the Elven Pantheon because I think it is cool. Like, I would love to do a Pantheon video for elves, dwarves, humans, because I think they are interesting and they're worth talking about. But the ones that you really need to know about the High Elves is they are really fucking with Assyrian, the king of their gods. Isha, the goddess of life. Basic, you get the idea. There's also a couple minor ones like Vol, the smithing god, and then like there is a pantheon.
Vulcan.
No.
Well, I'm not meaning the Primarch.
No, like Vol, Vaul, not Vol. It's odd. Anyway, your eyes started bugging out. Yeah, I'd love to do more about elves, but like frankly, there's just so much to talk about because there's a lot that you could really go into. I like elves a lot. I think they're neat.
Yeah.
I love their vibe. Because, like, we talked about in the Lizardmen episode, the Lizardmen had a big win against Chaos, but the elves are actually the ones who, like, saved the world.
Right.
They got a little hoity-toity about it, but frankly, it's like, well, they did save the world.
Well, like, specifically, what's his name? Mr. Dragon Man.
Kalidor did save the world, it's true.
What's the final lesson of this? Never listen to the guy on top.
Always listen to your wizard. Always. At one point, Marathi goes into the vortex temporarily, and Kalidor just looks at her and goes, "Hey.
What's up?
Sup? Oh, you're still around? Cool."
How long have we been in here?
I'm excited for part 2.
Yeah. I'm interested to know more.
Yeah. We'll probably see part 2 sooner than later because we want to get these out faster.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. Thank you all for listening to part 1 of High Elf. Stay tuned for part 2 coming soon, TM. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, support us on the algorithm because it really does help. Genuinely, like literally the algorithm, it likes it when you do those things. It's weird, but I don't like asking for it, but you gotta.
I don't want to pray to it by having to step into a funnel of fire.
Please.
And then hide my kids in a tree.
Oh my gosh. If you want to support us and get in touch with our awesome Discord community, you can do so by pledging to our Patreon, which starts at $2 a month, where you get access to, as I said, our Discord, and you get your names in the credits and all sorts of fun stuff. Go check it out at patreon.com/numbskulls. You can also check out our merch over at orchidate.com/collections/numbskulls, where we have a cool, great variety of awesome merch items that we want to expand on in the future. If you want to catch us live, we usually stream on YouTube and Twitch on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, barring certain things.
And sometimes you stream in the mornings doing some painting.
I do be doing some painting streams. That's true. You can check those out. But yeah, thank you all for coming on by. I hope you enjoyed this preview? Part 1? This brief look into elves. This section. I hope you enjoyed The Legend of AENARION.
And if you didn't,
kick rocks.
I don't know, have some juice or something. I don't know what you need. A little sugar.
But thank you all for coming on by. We'll see you in the next one.
Yeah.
Bye.
Woo. I'm trying to think of elf jokes.
Knife ear.
That's not an elf joke. That's an insult. How would you tell somebody that you didn't quite spend a very long time on something?
How?
It took a nary eon.
And the fucking episode. That was so bad. That was so bad.
That was pretty good for on the spot.
Hey, just as a reminder, we're having a merch sale. From the 22nd of May to the 29th of May, all of our items on orchidate.com/collection/numbskulls has a buy 2 things or more and get 10% off your order. Remember, it lasts only 1 week from the 22nd to the 29th, so get your order in today.
Oh my god. Only a week?
Only a week.
That's crazy.
Get it done.
That's crazy.
Give me money. Give me money. Give me Concerning the events of the end times and the states of the various varieties of elves in the mortal realms, How do you think Teclis takes his coffee? Black.
Oh.
I think Teclis takes it black, like no creamer. He gives me big tired energy.
He takes it black, but he probably casts a little spell on it.
A little sweeter. Oh yeah, you don't need creamer when you're a fucking wizard.
Yeah, you just change reality to what you want. You can make that shit taste like Capri Sun.
Teclis always takes his coffee black. It's so weird. Yeah, it's a little odd considering his taste. Buttermilk chocolate.
Wedding cake. This is not a hint.
What is your number one universal constant trait that all high elves should have? Egotistical attitudes.
Pointy ears.
Well, all elves kind of have pointy
Well,
ears,
exactly.
but that is
See?
a constant. Fair enough.
See?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Long-lived and thus wise, but also
Arrogant.
so long-lived has potentially lost the plot.
They're a little arrogant. Why do high elves even have a god of murder, i.e. Cain? Lots of cultures across history, even our own history, have had gods of murder or gods of war or blood. I mean, it's the same
Be
thing.
specifically murder, not
Murder.
manslaughter.
Murder, war, blood,
Okay. Violence.
It's the violent god, but like the
Violence
dark elves.
and death. The violent.
So something that I don't know if we really talked about in either of these parts was the fact that like the elven pantheon is different. Like the high elves all worship the light gods, whereas the dark elves only worship the dark elven gods. So like even the pantheon in the Civil War got split. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. Yeah. I guess one reason you might have a god for that is like, how else do you explain it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're an intelligent species. Like, obviously there's the animalistic nature of just like violence and killing. But at some point in your mind, you might disassociate from it, like responsibility-wise, and a god is a very useful way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, when that god seems to actually exist, that kind of lends to the theory.
When belief is power,
Yeah.
it gets a little complicated.